Proudly supported by Superior Engineering.
How you going, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. I am going to be filming a bit of an update video just to keep you guys in the loop with what's happening on my channel. Now, I actually have a massive announcement. I have a few actually that are really cool, and I'm really excited to tell you guys. I also want to talk about what's happening with sponsors because we are taking on a few more. I want you guys to understand what my thoughts are behind having sponsors on the channel. So let's get right into it. I want to let you guys know first up, probably the most exciting thing that is happening to the build behind me, the GU Patrol. We are actually chucking a 4JJ1 engine into the Patrol behind me. If you don't know what a 4J is, it's out of an Isuzu D-Max or even Holden's. Actually, Holden Rodeos had them at one point. It's a 3-litre turbo diesel. Pound for pound, probably one of the best turbo diesel motors ever made. Most importantly to me, the aftermarket support on these motors is huge. Now, how we are going to be doing this is Adventure Corp and Diesel Conversions Australia basically sell the whole kit, just like a bolt in, drop the engine in. They've got the bell housing. They've also got like a torque converter, flex plate, wiring, ECU done, the brackets, everything's just done for you. We basically just have to rip this engine out, chuck the Isuzu in, and we've got a 4J Patrol. So we will be working with Adventure Corp on this project. So they are basically jumping on board. They are supplying everything to me. I'll be doing the work. We'll be getting it done in the shed. It'll be full DIY, Roam Life fashion. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's actually my first engine swap, diving in head first, and we'll just pull this 3-litre out, chuck another 3-litre in, and it'll be bloody awesome, hopefully. Straight out the gate, we're gonna have about 150, 160 horsepower with the capability of turning it up to about 250. And then we've got super reliable and simple engine. Simple. With this thing, it ain't simple, it's been a pain in my bum. So basically, Adventure Corp, Diesel Conversions Australia, Roam Life, we're all gonna be working together. We're gonna get this done. So that is probably the most exciting news that I have for you guys. That's the big bombshell. We're doing a 4J conversion on the Patrol. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that conversion and if you're excited to see it. And yeah, I can't wait for that actually. Next thing I've been waiting on is we have a 3-hoop bull bar. It's basically a Jimmy bar. If you guys want to look that up, he's a bloke on Instagram, makes really nice bull bars at his house. Now we're doing 3-hoop bull bar. I did go out and buy a Runva 13XP winch. I also have some steady lights that I did buy. And I'm very excited because we're going to have a bull bar, winch, and lights on the front of this thing. We're also doing a DIY set of rock sliders so I can get the angles right. I'm really fussy with how my rock sliders look. And then I've also ordered my rear bar. I've paid a deposit on that. So we're getting a tubular rear bar for the Patrol as well. So we've basically got the bar work sorted, getting a new engine, got a winch, lights. It's all happening for the Patrol, guys, and I'm very excited for the upcoming content on that. One thing I've kind of been tossing up in my mind is, do we paint the Patrol or not? I've actually been thinking about, and I'll be able to put a photo on this video hopefully, I'm thinking about actually painting the top half of it black and leaving the bottom half gold and then having my black bar work because I think that'll just look really cool. There's already a guy that's done it. I'll chuck his photo up on the screen now and you guys can let me know what you think about that. Now, on to the next. We've got the Bogan bus. Now the Bogan bus, if you don't know, is my brother's GQ wagon, TD42. Now we had this in the shed basically when we got the house probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And we basically just did a really quick Raptor coat. We cut some rust out of it and we kind of built it up from a Bogan bus to like something that's actually nice to drive on the road. He's basically been driving it with no issues, done a few little things here and there, but we do have some really cool content coming up for that. He's actually stripping the Raptor off at the moment and getting a paint job on it. But the rust that we did cut out, unfortunately, it's come back through. There's only one real way to fix rust properly and take your whole roof off. So actually this morning I was at his house. We started grinding the roof off. I was just basically showing him what he needs to do. So drilling out the spot welds, we're just gonna grind the gutter off, lift the roof off, remove the drip rail, and then we're just going to be welding a bar in instead of actually recreating the drip rail. And then he's actually dropping that off to a painter and we're doing a fully custom 2K paint job. Probably could do it here, but spraying 2K in your shed, it's not the funnest thing. You got to mask everything up. This bloke's doing it for about $2,000, so he's paying him to do it, which is great. And we'll keep you guys updated on the Bogan bus. We also have a new bull bar coming for that. And then we've got some new lights and stuff for that as well. So we are planning to get the Bogan bus back in here for about 4 episodes. Now, as for the budget Triton, this is actually an idea I want to bounce off you guys. I've been talking to Tony Shire at Shire's Fabrication about doing a solid axle swap on the old little Triton. Now, don't get too excited. It's not going to be coil over, it's not going to be coil, it's not going to be anything super crazy, but what we're thinking about doing is putting a LN106 diff. We'll probably have to flip it. So we'll chuck one of them in, set of leafies, maybe a diff in the back as well, make it flex up a little bit, and we'll have ourselves a little SAS MQ, MJ, I think it's an MJ Triton. And I think that'll actually be really, really cool, just because I don't think it's ever been done. I mean, we're only about $3.5 or $4 grand into that car at the moment. And I think if we can, you know, convert it for in between $3,000 to $7,000, I think that for under 10K, we can have a little SAS, little turbo diesel, little MJ Triton ripping around glassy. So yeah, I've been talking to Tony about getting that done. He actually got some photos off me and thinks he could do it quite easily, which is quite surprising actually. So that might be happening. It won't be happening until probably next year, but very excited for that. If that goes ahead, it's going to be awesome. So I've done the GU, done the Bogan bus, done the Tritos. We've got the camp trailer. Actually, we just went on our first camp trip last weekend. So if you missed that, it's up on my YouTube now. But yeah, we went camping. Trailer was awesome. Absolutely awesome trailer to use. It worked as a weekend camper flawlessly. Moving forward with it, I do want to rip the axle that I made out of it, and I want to put a stronger axle in it. I also want to do electric brake hubs, and then we have to rewire basically the plug, because this car here has the red arc brake controller so that we can actually control the brakes on it. And if we do go off-roading with it, coming down a hill, it's not going to be like pushing me off the track. It's actually going to have its own brakes, and I can really control it then. So we might be getting that in probably next year as well, and just re-modifying a few little things. Nothing major. It's nothing really that I want to change that's huge. I do want to do the hitch on it, probably a Mick hitch or DB5, can't remember what it's called, that's definitely not right. But I definitely do want to do the hitch. It does have a pintle hitch at the moment. It does rock around just a little bit. So it'd be nice to quieten that up a little bit and have something a bit more safer. I think that's actually probably one of my most successful builds at Camp Trailer. There's not really much that went wrong with it at all. Normally when I mod something, it's, you know, needs changing here and there, and I've done something wrong or stuffed something up. But you know, that thing actually worked for its purpose extremely well. So I'm very happy about that. So I suppose I want to talk a little bit about sponsorships now. It's something that we've been dabbling in. Now, I will never get to the point where I'm basically chucking stuff down your throats. I basically get like 10 emails a day from companies at this point, and they all message me, run my flashlight, run my spotlights, do this, do that. And I just ignore it all. And the companies that I actually want to work with, I'll either hit them up or they've hit me up previously. We'll work and collaborate on a video. It doesn't mean that they've hit me up and said, righto, I'll give you, $100, you make a video for me and I'll give you a set of spotlights. Basically, an example would be the throttle grenade that I did. I needed a throttle grenade. That's plain and simple. This car, the throttle control on it is absolutely ridiculous. If anyone's driven a 3-litre Patrol before, you hop in it, the first thing you touch the accelerator and the thing takes off like a rocket. So Black Ops and I were talking previously. I said, look, I need a throttle controller, happy to make a video. We made a video, used the crawl mode, very happy with it, honest opinion. I did say to them as well that I'm only making this video if I can say what I want. They basically said, no worries, you can say whatever you want about the product. We want a genuine review, and that's what you guys got off me, is a genuine review on a product that I would have bought anyway. I don't want you guys to think that all these products are flying at me and I'm just saying, yeah, no worries, send me whatever you got and I'll make a video on it, because it's definitely not the case. So you guys would have seen at the start of my episodes, it now says proudly supported by Superior Engineering. And I want to talk to you guys about sponsors moving forward. I want to talk to you guys about the current sponsors that we have and what's happening in the background a little bit. Feel you guys out, let you guys know what I'm thinking and how it works on my end. And I just want to be black and white with everyone. I don't want to be a YouTuber that is just, you know, sponsored by every brand under the sun. And yeah, I just don't want to be like that. You guys know the people that I'm talking about. Now, does that mean that I'm selling out and I'm picking Superior and whatnot? I don't think so. All it means to me is I'm working with a company that I would have bought their gear anyway if I had the money. What it is for the channel is it's supporting me and allowing me to make content that I'm not actually going out and paying for, because I can't honestly afford to buy everything that you guys see in my videos. It's just a ridiculous cost. I lose thousands and thousands of dollars doing YouTube. It's not a profit game for me. I do make money off YouTube. It doesn't cover anywhere close to what I'm spending on these videos. For example, bull bar, winch, and lights. That's one video. One video. It has cost me, so far I've only paid a deposit for the bull bar, but all up about $2,000 I'm paying for the bull bar. The winch was $1,100 from Superior, and the lights were $400. So you're talking, this is now a $3,500 video that I'll probably make about $500 back from YouTube on. Once again, the point I'm trying to sort of get across is I would never have worked with Superior if I didn't actually like their product. If I wouldn't have actually gone out and bought it myself, I actually wouldn't have worked with them. It's just plain and simple. So I hope you guys kind of understand that from my point of view, it helps me create the content massively. Like if I had to go out and buy $9,000 worth of suspension, I wouldn't be able to make a video for the next probably 4 months because I'd just be broke. Now, while we're on the subject, we do have one more sponsor to introduce to the channel. Kick-Ass Products are jumping on board with Roam Life very soon. I did go down and have a meeting with them. We discussed what I am as a brand, what they are as a brand, and it actually meshed really, really well. I'm very happy to be working with them actually, because it's a company that is basically all about DIY. A lot of their stuff is plug and play. They're really trying to just simplify 12-volt systems, and you guys know how confusing that 12-volt stuff can be. They're actually also a local company to me. They're only about 30 minutes down the road. And speaking to them, it just worked really well. Like we both really wanted the same thing out of what we're doing, and it's going to be really cool to work with those guys. I can also give input into what they're creating, which is going to be really cool. And yeah, they're jumping on board as a general channel sponsor. It's not going to be any shoving of any products down anyone's throat. It's going to be, this is what I'm doing using their products. They're also just showing that they support people in the industry, which is really cool. And I'm very excited about that one as well. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about channel sponsors, how it's sort of rubbing off the way that I'm sort of presenting it to you guys. I would be very interested to hear what you guys think about it. It's always been something that I'm concerned about, which is why I'm bringing it up, I guess. I don't want to be a sellout. I want to stay grassroots, DIY, getting stuff done in the shed, little adventures here and there. You know, just stick to what we do best. Having sponsors on board is definitely something that we need to do moving forward with YouTube as well, because this is becoming a little bit too much for me to handle at the moment and very, very expensive. So having sponsors moving forward is going to allow me to take Roam Life to the next level and just keep smashing videos out, but always sticking to my grassroots of DIY, doing stuff in the shed. We're going to be doing little family adventures. Right, so that is actually going to bring me on to my next subject, which is camping and traveling with Alicia and Wolf. Now, we did just do our first camping video, and I'd say it was pretty successful. It's definitely not my most popular video, but enough people watched it for me to warrant getting out and filming that stuff for you guys. We were just going to do it in the background and not actually film it, but if you guys start to enjoy that sort of content, I can keep that coming as much as you guys want it. One thing I want you guys to do for me is drop a comment on some places that you want us to go. Some really cool places that no one has actually really filmed or gone to. We're not really interested in huge full drive tracks because we're going as a family, but some cool scenery, you know, hot spa pools, like natural pools or whatever. That sort of stuff. Just real exciting stuff that will be fun to film and really cool to take Wolf and Alicia to. So hopefully that clears some things up for stuff that's happening with Roam Life in the near future. I just feel like I had a lot going on. I needed to update you guys, get some stuff off my chest, and yeah, let you guys know what's happening with the patrol. I want to keep you guys updated with sponsors. I don't want to just randomly have sponsors pop onto the channel and you don't know why. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about that sort of stuff, drop it in the comments and I'll answer them. Anyway, what I want to move on to is I put up a Q&A on Instagram about 30 minutes ago and a few people have already messaged. So we're going to read them ones out and then we'll end this video. EJ Larfield, what's the real difference between a DI and a TI 3 litre motor? A TI is not actually anything to do with the motor. A DI is a direct injection motor. This is a common rail motor. In 2007, they stopped making the DI because of emissions. It's a mechanical fuel injected motor. Common rails come out from 2007 to 2016. It's basically the same motor with a different fuel system. The TI on my car is actually the trim level that the car come out as. Mr. Ryan Lee says, loving the channel, mate. The camping episode was a ripper. Keep up the good work. I really do enjoy this sort of feedback because it allows me to keep creating content that people like. So thanks for that, mate. Console Lux is how I should have said it. Do you regret selling coal? I loved coal. I do not regret it. If I didn't have a son, I would probably have just kept him. But I definitely don't regret it because it allows us to do something really cool with this car and really enjoying how this car is coming along as well. But also just take my son out and have adventures and stuff like that. Coal was a really nice ute, yes. But you know, we all do builds, we learn from them, we do better builds, and we're just gonna keep doing that for the rest of our lives until we drop dead. Jacob Jenks has asked a question that's really good for this video actually. What option would you choose if the ZD went bang? Now, I'm going to give you two options because one is if I had unlimited money, I'd probably chuck an FTE or a 6BT with a P pump in it, but I don't have that much money. So we landed at 4J for the practicality and all-round package. It's relatively cheap to do. It's achievable for a lot of people that are going to be watching this video. They're going to be able to follow the video and actually recreate the swap, and it's also fuel efficient. It's going to be easy to get engineered and it just ticks all the boxes for practicality. Actually, a barra would have been pretty cool as well. I wouldn't mind a barra if I'm being honest. Caleb ____69. What's next for the GU? Well, Caleb, sliders are going to be next. I was meant to do them today, but I drove to 2 Bunnings and I couldn't get MIG gas anywhere. So yeah, next week we'll probably be doing a set of sliders, so that's what's next. SOS TV, SAS the budget build. He already knows what's going on because I've been chatting to him about it. Liam McKenzie, how did you get sponsorships with companies? Did you reach out to them or vice versa? It's a little bit of both, mate, to be honest. You kind of just build up a relationship, like you tag them in stuff and they, you know, reshare your stories and then you start chatting to them. You go in and buy parts, chat to them. Even people that are working for the companies actually sometimes put me in with the companies and then they reach out to me. Sometimes I reach out to them and say, look, I've got an upcoming video that'd be great with one of your products. Would you like to be on board with it? Dream Forby, and would you ever build a comp truck? Dream Forby, if I had to buy one now, I don't even know. It would still be a patrol. I honestly reckon it would be a patrol. And would I ever build a comp truck? I've actually been talking to a few people about doing some entry-level comp truck stuff. So if we SAS the Triton, if we get away with that for cheap enough, I'll probably enter that in a few competitions and we'll do something a little bit different on the channel and do a bit of racing here and there. And then, you know, that might build up from there, or you might get a GQ with a cage in it or something, or even, you know, pay for a cage to go in one. And yeah, definitely compete, get some sponsors on board with that. And I'd love to start racing, to answer your question. That'd be sick. Kyle. When is the Barra Turbo? It's not coming anymore, I'm sorry. It was coming, but it's not. I kind of started pricing it up, and then, you know, me and my mate Kyle were talking and I was adding it all up and it just gets more expensive. And then you're thinking, oh, if I'm doing this, I may as well do this. And it just was snowballing to like a 15 to 20K conversion. And knowing me, I'd try and wind the boost right up and I'd go clap the thing up the beach and yeah, I'd just blow it up. It's Todd Forsyth 17 says, cut a sunroof. My car already has a sunroof, so yeah. Ethan Austin, what engine mods do you have planned for the future? When we get the 4J in, we're going to be looking at getting some injectors in it and then getting it tuned. We'll probably look at a few things as we're going down the line. We'll refresh the motor a little bit. But yeah, I'm not really too sure until we cross that bridge, sorry. that petty 4.8, would you ever hold a meet at Glasshouse or something similar? Yeah, I actually would, and I think about this all the time. I'd love to get people in for a show and shine or a coffee or something like that. But the thing that concerns me the most is if I put my name on an event like that and then something goes wrong, it's going to come back on me. There's a lot of sort of dickheads in forward driving. And it really just worries me that, like, let's say we go out to Glasshouse and then people start littering. I'm gonna lose my shit. I can't stand it. But in saying that, I would really love to do it. And if anyone is local to Sunny Coast that has a bit of property that wouldn't mind us doing it on, I could definitely organise something. That'd be really cool. Lachlan Kemble, what do you do for work and how's your budget when it comes to the rig? So what I do for work is I'm like a mechanic that sort of does a little bit of everything. So I work at a pressure cleaner shop. I fix pumps, I fix petrol motors, diesel motors. I do custom fit outs for people with like hose reels and pressure cleaners and vacuums and all that sort of stuff. I work on big vac trucks. I look after council trucks, all that sort of stuff. I do it. And as for the budget is basically whatever I make on YouTube, I reinvest straight away. I also take a little bit off my wage each week and I chuck that in as well. And we just spend whatever I have. So if I have, $2,000 for the month come in and a little bit from work, I dump it straight into parts and I've been ordering them and then I just wait until they come and that's my content. Honestly, I'm pretty unorganized when it comes to all that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit hard to roll content out as much as I'd like. I wish I was a little bit more structured with it, but yeah, the budget is not very healthy at the moment just because this thing's cost me an arm and a leg. But we're getting there. We've only had this for 3 months now and it's looking pretty good. So yeah. Haydo, you thinking of going back to a ute when you get bored of this car? I can't really go back to a ute. If I was to do a comp truck, I would go back to a ute for sure. I'd love to do a dual cab ute, potentially cut this one up or just do another GQ dual cab. But no, I can't really because I've got a son now and I'd hate to not be able to take him. And also, I'm 6 foot and a ute is just really uncomfortable for me. And I've got camera equipment, I've got a dog, I've got a son, I've got a missus. One extra seat is not going to be enough. PN_OSRS, how much did you spend on the new bus? I've probably spent personally about 13 grand. And then we have had some brand deals like the suspension on top of that. I think at the moment it would be around the 20 to 23, something like that. But I haven't actually added it up, but that's ballpark figure. Now, in saying that, I am waiting on the bull bar and I have the winch and stuff. There's a lot of parts that aren't on this yet that I have. We have a like $2,000 torque converter, valve body from Wholesale Automatics, a few other things, that are just sitting in there that are ready to go in. Tactical Adventurer, USA never seems to get the good vehicles. Any vehicles we have that you guys want? I think I can confidently say that we are more jealous of the mods that you guys can do to your cars. I know you guys are big on Jeeps and some of the other cars you got are really cool as well. But you guys can get away with a lot more than us. We're basically tapping out on 33-inch tyres and a 2-inch lift in most cases. And then to get engineering, which means that it is legally allowed to drive on the road, it costs an arm and a leg and no one does it in Australia, which is a pity because we all do want the roads to be safe, but we also want to be able to modify our cars a little bit more than what we're allowed to. But yeah, in America, you guys seem to get away with a lot more than us. So I think that's one thing that we are definitely jealous of. Josh E3, if budget wasn't an issue, what would be the thing you would love to do to the Patrol? Budget wasn't an issue. Kind of answered in my previous questions. 6BT, chuck her in the guts of the thing. We'd do sheet metal diffs, big coilovers, we'd brace everything up. And just have a really, absolute weapon, front rear lockers, air compressors, everything on board that, would just make this thing an absolute weapon. Jerry D. Bowler, what's next for the old Triton? What we're gonna do actually is we're gonna try and work with Kick-Ass and do a very, very budget camp setup with it. I then wanna actually take it camping, just living out the back of it and just see how it goes. Then we're gonna probably look at doing the SAS next year if that happens. And possibly turn that into a little bit of a rig that we can compete in a little bit. Ryan Pedron, this is actually a really good question. Thoughts on your new Patrol over the old NP300? Now, the old MP300 was a nice car, yes. The GU, I think, is a lot better. Value for money, this thing cost me 25 grand. I think nowadays you could only buy an MP300 for around the 45-ish to 50. IFS is just, once you get out of the bush, IFS sucks. I really hate it. This Patrol, being a TI, is so much nicer than my MP300 was. And granted, it was an SL, but for an STX, I think at the time it was about $60,000 or $70,000. This thing was 25K, leather seats, sunroof, cruise control, ABS brakes, solid driveline, solid front end. Yeah, I think Patrol wins this one hands down. The other thing that is a little bit gut wrenching with a new car is, let's say you spend 60K these days going out buying a dual cab ute, then you dump another 10 to 20 on it, modifying it. You now have an $80,000 car that you're about to thrash out at Glasshouse, and it's not a good feeling. Brock Treelaw, now that you have used the home shed a bit, would you make any changes? I would 100% make changes. I've definitely not perfected this shed yet. It's so far from it. The 2 single roller doors that I have, they suck. I would 100% love to change that to just 1 door. Just when I get a bit of money, I'll be doing that. Now, as for the layout that I have, it's just not working at the moment, so I do need to change that up as well. And moving forward, I think I want to build a lean-to off the side of the shed to store metal, anything that doesn't need to be in the shed, like the lawnmower and stuff like that. I'd like to have the lean-to out the back to store that. But yeah, definitely heaps I want to change. I honestly don't even know where to start with what I want to change. So Noah Jeffries, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know, I guess I can see myself doing YouTube, but you know, it is a lot of work. A lot of people think that YouTube is easy, but it's definitely, this is the hardest I've ever worked myself, put it that way. But I could see myself doing YouTube. I could see myself owning a custom shop where we actually build full drives for people, and also doing YouTube. That would be something that I'd love to do. Buying my own space to work on your guys' cars, customers' cars, that'd be awesome. Overseeing builds and doing builds for people is something that I would love. And doing YouTube, I don't think I want to stop doing YouTube. I think the movement that we have working with us with DIY stuff is really cool. I'm seeing a lot of guys try stuff themselves these days. You know, building my tray, there's probably been north of 20 trays been built that are near a copy of Coles, and seeing that from people is awesome. So I'd like to keep that feeling going where I can help people do DIY stuff at home. Will Hurst, are there any mods that you've done that you regret? Yeah, I do regret the axle being put into the trailer without the brakes on it. That was a bit of a poor judgment by me, because if I park on a hill, I can't even stop it. I have to chock the wheels. Honestly, other than that, there's not too much that I regret, because I don't really look at it as a regret. I look at it more like a lesson, like don't do that again, or we learnt from that, we can do this, and I just pull it off. I guess rock lights, I did rock lights back in the day on my MP. Yeah, I used them for about 2 minutes and then I never used them again. I think that's enough questions for this video. If there's any questions that you do specifically want to ask me and you missed out on the Instagram one, just drop it in the comments and I'll try and answer it. I want Diesel to be in this video too, so come here, come on. So guys, hopefully I've cleared up a few little things. I wanted to get this update video out before Christmas and just let everyone know what's going on and what we've been doing and what I'm thinking. Definitely a lot of moving parts at the moment and it's hard for me to keep track of everything. So yeah, laid it out on the table for you guys. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you guys are happy with this sort of episode for a little bit of a change. It's a bit of a break for me too, to be honest. Yeah, me and Diesel probably gonna go to the park or something because I owe him a walk. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for showing support on every video that I do. All you guys that comment, you're legends. I see the same names commenting every week and it's awesome. So I appreciate it guys. We'll be back into the regular program next weekend. I'll get some mid gas and we'll get into the sliders, I think. So yeah, catch you guys then.